Martinez here. We're here at the SHOT Show 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada. And with us right now is Dr. Mark Green, Congressman, Republican out of Tennessee in the 7th District.
Great to be with you, Bill.
Well, it's absolutely awesome and an honor to meet you and have this time together. Your service to the country.
Thank you.
In the military, your background, incredible background in the military. And you're just not busy enough, so you decided to become a physician and then enter into Congress.
Yeah. Halfway through, the Army sent me to med school, and I wound up, I was an infantryman ranger before that, and then wound up as the physician for our Tier 1 assets, and did that. Interviewed Saddam Hussein the night we caught him, and I had a great experience in the military. Got out and...
You interviewed Saddam Hussein?
Yeah, I interviewed Saddam the night we caught him. You know the guys that caught him, right? Greek alphabet. Well, I was the doctor for the mission, and then interviewed him that night.
So when you execute an interview, let's just say that way, what are you looking to? Obviously, any kind of intel that you can get from.
Well, it's interesting. I was just supposed to sit with him and just be with him and he sits up and asks me to take his blood pressure, and as I'm taking Saddam Hussein's blood pressure about midnight on the night of his capture, he just starts talking, and so I started asking questions, and about 6 hours later, McCraven comes in and says, "Hey, Doc, what's going on?" I'm like, "Well, we're just chatting." And so they bring a camera in, the red light goes on, Saddam lays down, pulls the covers over his head, into the interview.
Oh, wow.
But it was mostly historical stuff. I stayed away from the WMD and all the things that I didn't want to foul the investigation. So,
yeah, without a doubt. So when did you decide to enter Congress?
I am now in the top of my 3rd term, and I sit as the chairman of the Committee of Homeland Security. So I'm the guy going after Mayorkas and trying to get some sanity at the southern border. But no, I ran in 18 and then first took the oath in 19.
And so here you are, thank God, going after Mayorkas.
Yeah.
This is so unbelievable what's happening at the border. And then the latest Supreme Court decision. It's
just insanity. I mean, you think of the federal government has failed. The state has a constitutional right to step in, I think. I mean, it's pretty clear. And, of course, they... 5-4 decision. Justice Roberts, once again, it was very disappointing. Yeah,
and then, of course, you've got Kirby saying, we had to get it out of there so the Border Patrol could do their job.
They're not doing they're just processing people into the country. I mean, trust me, I'm chairman of Homeland. I'm down there talking to those border agents all the time. They are so pissed off. They actually were glad Abbott did it.
Yes.
Right? Because they know their job. They're not allowed to do their job, which is to protect this country and secure the border, and they're just processing and making sandwiches for migrants.
Yeah, and the dangers that are lurking, down the road are just incomprehensible, Congressman.
I had Director Wray of the FBI in front of my committee, and he basically said that there's no way to guarantee Hamas isn't coming into the country. They have no way of knowing.
They're already here.
Of course. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, right? And, of course, then you got the 28,000 Chinese nationals that have come in over the last year.
Yes.
The highest year before that was 1,800.
All males, by the way.
The vast majority are males, military age.
And they could probably be looking for women because they don't have very many women. They're
true.
Very anemic.
Hey, that's a great point.
I'm just saying. I mean,
that one-child policy is about to kill China.
Exactly.
I'm fine with that, though, right now. They are our enemy.
Yeah. And so all these dangers that are lurking, as mentioned, Hamas, the cartels last year, the cartels themselves, their infrastructure well within the interior of the
100%.
country.
Great articles on San Francisco's gangs connecting to the drug cartels out of Mexico and forming this nexus.
Yes.
So it's already in the open source information.
Well, the cartels say that Joe Biden been very good to them. $13 billion last year.
Yeah, that was just in human trafficking.
Yes.
That's not the fentanyl.
Right, exactly.
Another 15 billion there, maybe 14 billion.
What do we do?
We've got to shut the border. That's our primary thing. And the way you do that is you have to basically, if you live by the laws that we have on the books now, you decrease it 70%. If you put Trump's policies in on migrant protection protocols, remain in Mexico, all that stuff. What it is it's a deterrent. People don't come.
Right.
They just stop making the trek. They stay in their country and they get a job there. And so we've got to reinstitute those policies and force Mayorkas to, or whoever. I'm trying to impeach him, but if we don't impeach him, force him to do what's on the books.
We've got to get control of our government again.
We do.
I mean, that's really where it lies, because
100%.
I mean, this stuff is common sense, right?
Yeah, well, if it's not the border, it's making friends with Iran, taking the Houthis off the terrorist watch list so we can be buddies with Iran, doing a $6 billion deal for 5 hostages, and Hamas decides to invade Israel. We're going to withdraw, slap the Brits in the face, and not stick around in Afghanistan. Then Putin invades Ukraine. I mean, it's weakness is provocation.
Yeah, without a doubt, history has proven that time and time again, right?
That's exactly right.
And look what happened. I was talking to somebody else about when Donald Trump became president. He reversed the course dramatically from the Obama years.
Right.
And it was amazing how quickly they forgot.
Yeah. I mean, people don't seem to remember this, but Joe Biden was vice president when Ukraine got invaded last time in 2014, right? So, I mean, it's all about...
when they took over Crimea.
That's right. It's all about strength, right? If you show resolve, because you can have a capability, if you don't have the willpower, it doesn't matter. You got to have the will and the training and all that, right? And under the leadership of these guys, they don't have will.
Yeah. Well, the American people have about had it, with them, because, even the Remembrance Project has noted that in every state of the union, we have lost a citizen at the hands of an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And the things that they're planning with stuff like central bank digital currency and of course the export ban on, firearms being sent overseas, that's all. I mean, they hate gas and guns, right?
Yes.
So everything they're doing is to go after the oil and gas industry and the gun industry. Yeah. That's who they are.
And they're taking advantage of everything they could possibly do, whether it's with, lawfare, executing lawfare that they've been doing, and of course...
going after the banks that loan to manufacturers.
Yeah, exactly. And we run into it here. All conservative... If you have anything to do with conservatism... You're religious of any type. I mean, they went after the Catholics last year.
That's exactly right.
I mean, and this has to be so frustrating for you, because you're talking to Director Wray and these other officials, and their answers are so inadequate. It's like, what can I mean? Sometimes I don't. It's even like the other day when Hunter Biden showed up, right? Yeah. And I'm thinking, why didn't they just arrest him right there on the spot?
Well, we don't have a police force we have a protection detail, but we don't. It's not like we have people say, why can't you secure the border? I'm like, well, Congress doesn't have an army that we can send down to the border. I mean, we write the laws. The executive branch is supposed to enforce the laws.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, this executive branch, particularly Mayorkas, thinks he can just rewrite it and do whatever the heck he wants.
Well, as you say, this isn't by accident.
No,
they've designed it. This is what they want to do. And I think people are still confused and trying to wonder, okay, what's the good out of it? I mean, here it is, open borders for 3 years. Tell me, Congressman, what positive affect have we gotten out of 3 years of open borders?
I think that they believe, I would submit two ideas. One is not as controversial as the other, but the one that's not as controversial, I think they literally want to bring people into the country who will vote Democrat, right? So they're trying to empower themselves into perpetuity. The other that's a little more controversial, they're so into this DEI stuff and making and basically communism. They want everybody to be equal, right? I think they want nations to be equal, and they see the United States as too prosperous. We're just, it's unfair that we're doing as a nation so much better than other countries. So I think they really want to bring the country down.
Well, without a doubt, they want shared misery. That's what communism. That's
exactly
what they do, right? Well, and listen to what happened at Davos. The president of Argentina, the new president.
Oh yeah,
right?
He's awesome.
Was that unbelievable?
I was at his inauguration. I went down. He's a friend of mine. I mean, a great guy. Met him in Mexico at a CPAC event. Yeah.
His confrontation with the elites reminded me of Ben Carson at the prayer breakfast.
Oh yes.
Obama's prayer breakfast.
Yes, that's right. That was
just
excellent.
laying it out to him. The whole deal.
Truth is truth.
Yeah. Amen. Well, Congressman, cannot thank you enough. I appreciate you fighting the good fight on behalf of all of Americans that believe in freedom and liberty.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for having me on your show.
Take care.
Yep.
God bless.